he's nowhere to be seen. Mike's too busy showing off his new vivariums. I'm all alone.
Yay! Finally!
Oh, come back,
I'm coming.
please. Hey.
Hang on. Oh, let me sort this out.
Hello.
Mate, look. I've got a
Oh.
studio. I'm going to do your head in now, aren't I? Because my mic's, my thing. Oh, yeah, look. Cutting my head off.
Are we gonna? We can do that if you want. We can put microphones in shot. I can arrange this. That's fine. It's not a problem. We can put microphones in shot. It's not a problem. We can be professional. we can do this.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm not happy to be back at work. It's not very nice in England. It's fucking cold. But I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. Did you have a good time, mate?
Yeah, it was much needed. Really much needed. Obviously, over the last year, there's been quite a lot going on in my personal life, and
yeah,
I needed a couple of weeks just to chill the fuck out and feel like us again.
Good man.
I don't feel like us again. I don't even know what hot feels like.
Need another holiday, mate.
I need a holiday to get over the holiday. But no, it's good. It's good. It was interesting. So I went to Altinkum, which is in Izmir, Turkey. For 2 weeks, all inclusive, 5-star hotel. It was absolutely fucking amazing.
Was it?
The first week, I promised myself that I would do nothing. I'd chill out. I'd spend as much time on a hammock on the beach reading as much as possible.
What did you read?
All sorts. David Attenborough. Where's the book? Where's the book? I'll get it. So, I read this book, David Attenborough, Journey to the Other Side of the World. Really good book. Really enjoyed it.
Can I borrow it? When you finish that, can I borrow that?
Yeah, I finished it now.
Does he mention me in it?
He doesn't now. And the other one.
What's the matter with him?
Was this lovely one?
Oh, mate, I started reading that. It's hard. It's a hard read to start with.
Yeah, because it goes into like the in the environment and his character and that kind of thing. I'm first thinking like, this is about snakes. This is nothing about snakes at all. It doesn't really explain much about it, and then it goes like, boom, and it hits you.
Yeah, I think you need to find, and you learn about his character first. I mean, he was a ruthless man, and you've got to, if you do read that book, you've got to remember when the book was written and when he was alive. It was totally different, in Africa, the way that sort of like white people was towards other people in Africa back then. I mean, it's a million miles away, but it's what an interesting guy.
Definitely.
But
definitely. It was cool. I really enjoyed it. So the first week I spent majority of my time on a hammock drinking copious amounts of gin. Reading, chilling out. Then the second week, I wanted to go out herping as much as I could, and I will admit I didn't go as much as I wanted to, but I got out a few times.
Is that because you couldn't get up early enough, Oz?
No, my body clock messed up. I was up early enough, but buffet breakfast is more important.
Yeah, and I know you was partying too hard on the night, and you couldn't get up in the morning.
To be honest, I was up in the morning to go herping. Whether I was in any fit state to go herping, that's questionable.
Yeah, you was up at the right time, mate. It's just that it was the end of your day, wasn't it?
But yeah, so I went out to the Temple of Apollo, which is like a temple ruins. Which, when you think about Apollo, you think Greece. To the Temple of Apollo, it's actually in Turkey, which I thought was quite weird.
Is it connected to Greece though? Because obviously they're
there's
opposite each other, aren't they?
There's a lot of history between like the Roman Empire and all that kind of like Greek mythology and all that. It's all kind of like intermingled, and I ain't even gonna try and tell you that I know what I'm talking about because I really don't.
And I don't know this, but I expect they was probably connected at one point.
Possibly, yeah.
You know what I mean? You can see Turkey from Greece, can't you?
Well, yeah, you can go to the island of Kos. It's like 20 minutes on a boat.
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times. You can get on those little catamarans that fly across the top of the water.
Yeah, man. So we went there and we had a look round. The ruins themselves were pretty good. A lot of it's still standing. That was really nice to see. It was really, really hot. Really, really, really hot there. Really dry. If you look where we found a couple of millipedes, locusts, a couple of different inverts, but no snakes, no geckos, no lizards, nothing like that at all. And I found that amongst the whole trip. Like there was nothing.
You see. I mean, I haven't been to Turkey, but I know when I go to Greece and Spain and places like that, you always see lizards around the hotel, climbing up the walls, wall lizards and stuff like that.
So I'd been to this area before, so it's not like I didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
Now there is a few things that I think are the reasons why I didn't see anything, and I'll get into that in a minute. So anyway, we were walking around these ruins, and it was all nice. It was nice and hot, and I was with my brother and his girlfriend. We had a really good day, and we were kind of walking back, and we thought we'd walk around the perimeter of the ruins, and there was loads of fig trees. So we were kind of like, underneath these fig trees, and there was lots of rocks on the floor, and all of a sudden, my brother's girlfriend, Tammy, she was like, "Hoss, what's this? What's this?" So we went over, and there was this itty bitty, tiny, tiny, tiny Greek tortoise.
Mate, that was amazing.
Tiny. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
Is that the one you killed?
No, that was another one. So there's a bloke in the chat at the moment called Pete Griggs, and he was responsible for majority of the gins on holiday.
Yes.
He's a bad person. But yeah, so we walked around a little bit further, and then we found one more, and we found a dead one. Now it was getting really, really hot, so we left at that point because it was there was no cover. It was literally there was no cover. So we went and moved on then. But I think
was the tortoises out in the open.
So where they were, so it was like you had rocks and stuff, and there was like bushes. But imagine where the shade is, the line between dark and light.
Yeah.
And they were like literally just on the dark side.
Right. Okay.
So
on the dark side.
On the dark side. So obviously they wanted the warmth, but they didn't quite want to sit in that direct sunlight, which was pretty cool. But they were all very young animals. I am going to go back there. I'm hoping to go back there in May.
Okay.
So when I go back there, hopefully I can find some adults.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I don't think I found adults or found anything really, now there's been a lot of storms. Now, normally after a storm, oh God, I'll get into that in a minute, Chris. I picked up the dead tortoise to do a bit of a video, and I was heaving my guts up. It fucking stunk. Absolutely stunk, man. I was there like holding it like I'm a gimbal in one hand, tortoise in the other, and I was like,
that didn't feature on your video, Hoss, did it, mate?
No, it didn't. I couldn't even press record, mate. It was yeah, so there was loads of storms, and one day it was really warm, and then the next day there'd be a lot of rain. The nighttime temperatures again, they were really fluctuating. Some nights would be really cold, others would be like really warm. And I think possibly because it was all kind of like out of balance because of this storm they had, I think the animals had just gone back to fuck it, we're going to burrow down and just
hunker down and stayed out the way for a bit, possibly, mate, possibly.
But then the last few days of the holiday kind of stabilized a bit, and the weather was really good. And on the morning we would leave, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and I want to have a walk around the beach and the kind of like natural areas around the beach, just to see if there's anything there. And I was expecting to find nothing, but I did come across some little lizards, and I think they were like a snake-eyed lizard or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
I did take photos, and Francis Kushkiri did tell me what they were. I think it was some form of lizard anyway.
So you can't remember, mate? You've killed that many brain cells on your holiday. You can't remember.
So we we saw one at first, and it was like, once I saw one, we thought we saw one because literally it was like gone. And then we moved a little bit forward in, and then we saw like 3 or 4 little bits of movement, and then we kind of stood still, and we realised there was probably 20 or 30 of them surrounding us, just like darting around, just like literally, it was like, imagine sitting inside a pinball machine at like an international championship, and there's just like, ping, 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 ping.
Last day of the holiday.
Yeah, which was nice because like
at least you got to see something.
I got to see something as well. But yeah, it's pretty cool. That was about it for herps, to be honest. No scorpions. I saw one centipede, and it wasn't even a centipede. It wasn't big enough to be called a centipede. It was like this big. So we'll hurt.
Yeah, I mean, usually you scorpions and things like that. Do you know what I mean? Under the rocks, you usually find scorpions everywhere. But
I remember going to Hisarano, which is the other side, and we were literally waiting for the Dolmush to go into the village town, and there was just scorpions just walking up and down the road. They didn't care. They were just there. They didn't care about us. No. I remember my mum saying to me, "Don't go anywhere near that; it'll kill you." And I was just like, "No, I'm going near that. That's my friend."
Just a couple of things I want to bring up. Carly's joined us. Thank you, Carly. Hello, Denise, Stephen, Mike. How good was Carly last week?
Carly is
Eleanor.
Eleanor, hey.
You'd marry her tomorrow, wouldn't you?
Oh, just come to England. Come to England. She's a great person.
Yeah, she agreed to come on at the drop of a hat. She was absolutely good as gold, played along with it and everything. So yeah, spot on.
Man. So anyways, whilst you two guys were twatting about
taking the piss out of you.
Yeah. I have made some more things for this live stream. So if you do want to help support the podcast, then please head on over to reptileandchill.com and you can look at our hoodies and t-shirts for sale. And if you do like what we do, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter at the handle Reptile and Chill.
Can I do that?
No, you can't. It's mine.
See, I had the power for 2 weeks, and now it's all been taken away.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
I'll tell you what I found hard, and you know me, I do a lot of talking. I found it hard talking, reading, putting the post up, and all at the same time. So
yes, that's why. Like, I want to get multiple screens so I can have like us on one, so I can see what we're saying, you know, and then on the other side I can have all the comments because it's just hard, man. It's like now this is being live streamed to Facebook and YouTube at the same time, so I've not got just one
screen,
two
screens,
ooh,
3 screens. No, one of them is my work computer, mate, and the other one is just a screen.
Yeah, so now, you know how hard it was that time. So I've now got a screen for all the Facebook comments, and I've got a screen for all the YouTube comments as well.
Yeah,
so it's even worse now.
So, as you let everybody know that we are now streaming both live on Facebook and on YouTube. And the reasoning behind that, we had a chat last week about it, was because on Facebook, you can watch it here and now, and then it sort of like disappears, and you sort of like you can't really find it again. As though on our YouTube channel, anybody who's listening to the podcast can then go and check us out, just the live stream on YouTube as well. So we thought that would be that was good.
So I think, if I'm correct,
that was good.
Yeah. So I think.
Is that us live on YouTube?
On YouTube. On YouTube.
So there was another thing, Hoss, that we spoke about, and I know a couple of the listeners have mentioned it as well, because they was on about tagging this live stream onto the start of the podcast. So if they were driving along in their car, they could probably hear it. I don't know if that's possible, but the one thing that we said was, you know, by doing this, we've stopped doing our features. You know, we have a laugh and a joke at the start of the podcast, and obviously with us doing this, we was having a laugh and a joke on here and then going straight into sort of like interviewing the guest. And I think, if I'm honest with you, I think the podcast suffers because of that. Because I think some of the listeners who, listen to us in the car like to hear us take the piss out of each other.
Yeah, it's a really difficult thing because we wanted to create more content and give more to the listeners, but the problem is like the podcast takes so much time already. Especially for myself, I have to sit there and edit it and then distribute it as well after.
Well, you say that, mate, but I don't really think you do much. I think you use that as an excuse, and then you go, oh, and then it comes out Monday, and you go, did you edit that? Yeah, I did.
I'll tell you what. We'll let Mike record the podcast and edit the podcast this week, and we'll see.
Oh, mate, don't, because like you won't be useful then, will you? Because I'll be doing everything. Denise has put something up that's quite apt at this moment in time. So people would have seen that there's only two of us, and the most gorgeous person of the podcast is not with us tonight. So, damn it, I feel so sorry for him. He's been struggling with his laptop, and he's got to try and get a new laptop. So he's been using it's not an iPhone, it's an iPad. And he tried to get his microphone to work through his iPad. It won't work for some reason. So he's just been out and spent another God knows how much to get all the equipment with this special mic that's got, what has the mic got, Hoss?
So basically, it's got a chip in it, so it works directly with the iPad. But Facebook,
and it does.
So basically, the software that we use to record the podcast and to do this live stream is a third-party app, and it's not iOS approved, so it doesn't work with the microphone. And I have to laugh about it because if I don't laugh, I'll cry. But I am going to put a plea out. We want to buy him a laptop.
Yeah, we do.
With Reptile and Chill, we've spent the last 12 months putting all the money towards Mental Health UK, and we've said, right, okay, what we're going to do now is 20% of what we put together is going to go to Papyrus, and the rest of that he's going to have to pay for the podcast.
Because like you say, I suppose a lot of the listeners won't know this, right? But we all pay certain amounts at certain points, whether it's, I don't know, paying, certain things, there's a monthly subscriptions we have to pay for, the software that we have to pay for. And obviously there's equipment that we need. So, microphones and all the equipment, which we've all self-funded in the past,
and we're all clumsy. We constantly break shit as well. So, you know what I mean? It's not good. It's not good at all. It's. I can put. You can kind of like get away with using budget equipment, but then we started doing that when we first started. And every time you plug it in, it don't bloody work. And we spend an hour there's three of us, and trying to get everything to work and in sync. And we
got some negative comments, didn't we, as well, when things didn't work. I know I had problems with the internet because my setup wasn't quite right. We've had issues with sound in the past, and it's amazing, a little bit of problem with the sound, and somebody will click, 2 stars and say, nah, the sound quality wasn't good. And that's the last thing that...
At least they said we were funny.
That's the only thing anyone ever says.
So
we know nothing. We don't know anything about reptiles. We have some fantastic guests on though, don't we?
Definitely. We are constantly trying to improve things as well. So if you look behind Mike's got all that acoustic, it's acoustic treatment, and he's got that in front of him as well. So because of the room that he has, and I suppose if anyone's been listening to the last couple of podcasts, Mike's audio has been quite echoey. There's been natural reverb. So
it's because I haven't had a room to do it really. So I've just been finding bits of the building site that I could put a little table up.
So Mike's now gone out and paid for all these acoustic panels to stop that. You know, I'm quite lucky. I don't know why. I just sit at a desk in my room and it works. But I've got a bed behind me. I've got curtains and it's quite. You know, there's a lot in the room. You know, but we are constantly trying to push things forward. And
yeah, 100%.
What I'm trying to say is that Danny is in a situation where he can no longer do the podcast because he can't afford a laptop. So if you guys,
he can't afford it. It's just that he's got loads of other stuff that he's got to fork out for. And I suppose at the moment,
Sans in here.
yeah.
Right, okay. We need to put that to him.
You're not allowed to say that.
No, I know he wants them.
You're in trouble.
No.
No.
Right,
let's pretend this isn't live. Right, you can edit that bit out.
So basically, if you do want to help support our podcast, please go and buy some t-shirts so we can buy the Norfolk Webfoot Wonder laptop. Because he's going to cry. He's going to cry.
Oh, do you know what? I felt so sorry. Yeah, so sorry for it. Basically, all the kit that he's just bought as basically works with everything apart from this software and Facebook Messenger, which is what we record the podcast through. So he was like, I can't believe this doesn't work. I felt really sorry for him. He was absolutely gutted. And he just said, I can't go on the live show tonight.
He's bought that microphone. He's bought all that cabling as well. Right. And that power bank. I reckon I reckon he's probably spent the best part of 300 quid. Easily. He could have bought a laptop. Oh dear, it's a shame.
There's one thing that I want to. Well, it's something that you mentioned yesterday. Hoss came round yesterday and helped me carry up my sort of like hatchling rack that I'm hoping to fill up a little bit this season. You mentioned to me, and I can't stop thinking about it since you mentioned it. You went, "Oh, that's a lovely big desk. That is. You need a desk pet."
Yes, you do. Yes, you bloody do.
What? But I'm racking my brains now. So I would love our listeners to come up with a load of ideas.
When's your birthday? It's past, hasn't it?
No, it's January.
January, right? Okay, so it's Mike's birthday in January, right?
I'm not waiting for till January.
We can
Doncaster in a couple of weeks.
Get there, right? So Doncaster is the last time we can sort this out. So what I want to do is I want to buy Mike a desktop pet, and if any of the listeners want to chuck in a fiver,
Bowley.
It's not going to fit.
Mate, I'll increase the size of the desk.
It's already big enough. So I'm thinking, right, that you should have one of those glass coffin enclosures from Custom Aquaria, and we should go with like a small tarantula or a scorpion. If you get a centipede, then I'm not going to come around your house ever again.
Yeah, I see, and that would be the same. My son Billy has got a massive phobia of spiders.
But as the amazing father you are, you having a tarantula would help him overcome that because you would guide him through it.
Yeah,
or he'd napalm it, one of the two.
Just talking about the kids, right? I mean, Maya's nearly 14 now. And Billy's 10. Sam does a bit of a sort of like an late afternoon shift at work on a Tuesday. And I was racing back from work yesterday thinking, shit, Sam's gone to work. I've had to leave them on their own for half an hour. I'm like, I trust Maya with my life. Billy, different kettle of fish. I thought, there's a load of paint down there in the kitchen. He'll be looking at it going, do you know what? I reckon I could paint this kitchen. And I'm going to come home and there'd be paint everywhere.
So, Ambrose reckons you should get assassin beetles. They're cool.
Yeah, there is some really, really cool beetles out there. Hissing cockroaches. Like my mate used to have hissing cockroaches.
Tarantula.
Yeah. You know what? I do. I find them fascinating. I know they don't do a lot, but I do find them fascinating. I love them. Is it cobalt blue?
Yeah, they're cool.
Tarantulas. Super nice.
I've
One
got
of
them
them, you could get into it, and that would be it then.
The problem is, I had one scorpion. I had a Euroscorp. I can't remember the Flavicus or something like that. And I had it for about a year, and then it pegged it. Bless. I was sick to death of going to the reptile shop and buying one cricket. Like I'm paying 20p for a cricket, which is fucking extortionate.
Why didn't you buy 3 females and a male cricket?
Try and breed them myself. Yeah.
I know a lot of people who breed their own. Just get some egg cartons and cut them in. And
when I volunteered at Drayton Manor Zoo for a bit, every morning you have to go into their bug room and they're breeding their own crickets and stuff. And sod that, mate. I know it's all right. Hopping about, itchy little bastards. I'm all right. Yeah.
So Denise has mentioned hermit crabs.
Crabs?
I mean, you've had crabs that many times, Hoss, haven't you?
I've got no pubes to get crabs anymore now, mate.
Have you took them off, mate?
Yeah, they're all gone. I've noticed the beard's gone a bit as well. Like.
Oh, yeah, you have had a tidy up as well.
Yeah. Well, I cut it really low there.
Yeah.
And I wanted to bring it back up, but then it looks stupid when you got this and then shaved sides.
Yeah.
So I've timed it down for Christmas. And yeah, we're gonna grow it back. It's coming back with a vengeance.
Ambrose is up and about, mate. Should we dial him in? Should we get him in? You're gonna come in, Ambrose. Come and have a chat with us.
Oh, I'll send him the link.
Send him the links. He can come and have a chat. Let's see. Let's see if he's a man or a mouse. So, morning geckos, Jamie Watts. Yeah, do you know what? I do like morning geckos. They're cool. Right, if I'm honest with you,
Ambrose, if you are listening still, check your WhatsApp. You've got a link. Click the link, put your name in, and come the fuck on to talk to us. If you don't do it, Doncaster, I will pin you down and I will shave your fucking beard.
No, I won't let him. I will not let him. No man deserves having their beard shaved off, and he's got an epic beard as well.
Look, we're desperate here, mate. There's no Danny.
You can be the good-looking one of the boy band.
I don't want to be in your boy band.
What I was going to say was the last time I did mention it. It wasn't the last time. It was the time before. I was at Doncaster. There were some absolutely beautiful little glass vivarium stroke terrarium.
Yeah, the cylinder things.
Like little frog setups. They had like a little water feature in there, and it was all fully set up. Mate, I am getting one of them. 100%. I think so, mate. I think that would be lovely.
You could get away on that side with like a 2.5 foot viv, like little tank.
Yeah. I haven't got my printer on here yet, but my printer would quite easily fit down here. So,
well, he's read it. He's read it. He's fucking read it. Come on,
let's see if he's gonna participate. He'll be combing his beard and everything now, and
he'll be like, no.
So we have got Doncaster, haven't we? Not this weekend.
I'll be only one sec. Nice one, dude. Oh, look who's here.
Oh, look. Danny. No, Hoss.
So
we don't do things like that. Somebody's struggling. We put our arms around them. Don't call them a wanker.
But he's a wanker. I love him to bits, but he's a wanker. Like
you boys look awful with that. Mate, I reckon we do. Do I sound good, though?
Yeah,
I bet you sound a hell of a lot better.
You know what's really good? The quality of the microphone is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. And like, because I've got all this acoustic paneling, I bet you I'm getting no echo.
Yeah, the bass out of your voice has gone as well. So you sound a lot more crisp.
Do I?
Yeah, you sound nice.
I missed not having Danny on the live show. He's like the naughty little school kid, isn't he, on the live show? That keeps everyone amused.
I'm always right. I'm Hoss the fucking boss. I'm always right, mate.
Helen Gray said that we both sound great. So that's
thank you.
Thank you. That's what we're trying to achieve.
Yeah, right. So Doncaster, he's like, what the? You can't say stuff like that, Danny. That's not like that's a long way. That's from there. I'm down there. That's ow. Right, Doncaster, what's happening? What are you doing?
So you've got to work, haven't you?
I'm working on the Saturday, but I finish at 5:30. So I want to use the Saturday.
I want to go up to Doncaster and I want to take my camera and I want to do some wildlife photography before we land on the hotel.
The pub.
So I'm cutting right back on the beer, mate. So don't expect me to be, in a kilt, flashing my party pants.
That's fine because you can carry me. You can carry me home this time.
Now I better go to the gym then for the next 2 weeks or not.
Actually, to be honest, if we're gonna finish at the Hilton Hotel, we're stopping at the Hilton this time. So you just need to get the bellboy to get one of those trucks, put me on it, and wheel me somewhere around.
We've got the executive suite, mate.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be good. We're gonna
have a room party after.
You know who I'm sleeping with?
Who? Not me.
You know who I'm gonna drag to my bed?
Go on.
That man who we know where he lives.
Oh, mate, we'll tag team him. Yeah,
definitely.
I would definitely spit roast
Mr. Niche. Mr. Niche is going to get Engletized.
I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. So if you are going up the night before, we'll be in the Hilton Hotel bar all night. I'm going to pace myself this time. I don't want to be getting in a state. I want to remember the whole night.
I still don't remember anything from the Hilton. I remember going to the pub. I remember getting to the Hilton. I don't remember anything at the Hilton, but I remember walking home from the Hilton because it hurt.
I don't remember walking home from the Hilton, and that's it.
Do you remember ringing your wife?
Yeah.
They left me.
I always get lost and emotional when I'm really drunk.
That's bad. Yeah, so hopefully that happens. I'm not buying any animals this year. It's not happening.
I can't really. I've got so much left to do at home.
Yeah, so what I'm planning to do is I'm going to spend the winter getting this room sorted, getting Viv's in, getting him set up. I know what I'm going to buy. So the animals should be available coming the next, the following Doncaster.
So, I'm laughing at Danny.
Mate, the only thing you're going to be slipping is a disc when Peter Niche batters you, you small little Norfolk thing.
I didn't spend enough time with Dave Clemens. I said hello to him and that, but we was at the bar, and
that's the point as well. So we've gave him a Reptile and Chill t-shirt. So if he doesn't turn up to Doncaster in that t-shirt, then we've got to take his legs, surely.
Well, that's up to you.
You know what I mean? There's like just at least one leg. He'd get away with that. He'd look good as a pirate, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he would.
Yeah.
He would.
Oh, man.
I didn't realise he was so musical.
Yeah, he plays guitar really well.
But he's also... Does he play the piano as well?
I don't know.
I know he just put a lovely pose. His little daughter sat on his lap playing on the piano, but it was all wired up. So I don't know if that's him or his missus. But
I remember he used to work for Wrigley's in Biggleswade. And we went down there to I think I was in the area at work and I popped in. And he had this like really cheap guitar, really cheap amp, and he was just sitting there plinking plonking around. And I was like, Dave, guitar off. So we were going through different like theme tunes and this, that, and the other. And I was like, right, okay, just to let you know, you've just lost. What I'm about to play, you cannot beat. And he was like, yeah, whatever. Flintstones. Flintstones. No, you can't beat it. And he's just there. He's just like, I give up. When I was like, I know you did. I went that low. I won't do it again.
Sorry, there was something important that I was going to say then, and I've just totally. Do you know what I've just done? I've just looked and seen Danny's comments. It's just lost. I've totally lost my concentration then on what I was going to say. It was just really, if any of the listeners want to come and have a beer with us, come and join us at the Hilton. It'd be lovely to have a sit down. I actually think we get a better chance of chatting to our friends and listeners the night before than we do at the show. It's a bit of a whirlwind, isn't it, at the show?
Yeah, because you get dragged here, dragged there, and I'm looking forward to it. I will say there is one rule. Do not, and I repeat, do not feed me coffee beans again. Right? With or without glass. Not having it. I don't want
them. Did you want to talk about the calendar, Hoss?
Yes. So last year we did a calendar and we donated the money to Tal Hicks and mental health. This year, 20% of the money is going to go to Papyrus. And what we're going to do again is we're going to ask our listeners to put submissions forward. So it's your animals that we're showcasing. And that'll be we're going to pick 12 photos out of the 3 people that are actually going to submit anything. So it's going to be a stretch. But yeah,
there's one thing I was wanting to say, Hoss. Do you want to give people some tips? Because we had to go through. I mean, there were some amazing photos sent through, but there was some that was absolutely would have made the calendar. But there was certain things. So do you want to just give people a few tips on what we would be looking for?
So the photos need to be landscape, which is that way, not portrait, but landscape, and they need to be high resolution. So we kind of want them, at minimum 1,000 pixels wide. At minimum, obviously, if we can get them towards 2,000-3,000 pixels wide, that's better. If you do have any questions, then just let us know. I know Facebook does like to compress images, so if you do want to send them direct, drop me a message and I'll give you an email.
That's also like, we don't want your ugly mushies in the so it's got to be all about the animal.
And
Dave Evans, I'd quite happily put him in the calendar.
Well, there's been two smutty individuals this morning that were trying to get us to do a naked calendar, Michael.
Yes.
Yes, Lauren and the other. Yes. Right. I'm not impressed. It's not clever. It's not big. It won't happen. However, if you do want to put £20 into my PayPal account, we can send those images across. So that should be the cut-off point of that will be the 1st of November. So just get your images in. The calendars will be available just before Christmas. We're going to get everyone's orders in, and then we're going to get them over and send them out in one big batch. Last year, we ordered them in, and then I'll send them out as the orders come in, and it was just crazy. So, and then we got...
there was, sorry, Hoss, I don't mean to cut in front of you. What was lovely last year, we put in a picture that Tel Hicks did, because obviously he had his accident, and we met up with him at the last Doncaster, didn't we? And it was lovely. We mentioned about it in the podcast. It was lovely to see him out and about. We took him for a bit of a joyride, didn't we? Stole his wheelchair.
Yeah, we quite literally... he was standing there with his wife, and we were going to borrow a towel for a little bit, and then we took him. Fiona from Reptile Systems shouted across, "You can't just steal towel!" But we can. We took him back, and he was safe, and he enjoyed himself.
I was going to leave him just facing the wall.
You can't do
just
that.
Everybody just walk off.
You can't do that. That's not fair.
But it was nice to see him in person and give him the money that we raised through the for the calendar, wasn't it?
Yeah, and he's doing what the hell's Jamie doing? That's
I don't know. It's too late. It's too late now. I wonder if Danny heard the bit earlier where you slipped up and mentioned something that you shouldn't have.
I didn't say anything.
You did.
Didn't confirm. I said the word Sanzinia. That was it. Didn't imply that he's buying or that he wants to buy or that he isn't buying. I just said Sanzinia.
Denise Atkins has put up.
So
it's not pictures of all you guys with reptiles hiding scary bits. Our scary bits is pretty much all of us. So we'd need a salter to cover our scary bits.
What we'd need is a Titan boa, the largest python or snake they ever found. We just need to totally wrap around. So each photo would literally just be a Titan boa. And each one
and Daniel stand there with a morning gecko.
Yeah.
I'm gonna punch you in the balls.
Bring it. Fine. No problem. Sanzinia.
So I'm going to go up to Doncaster early and I'm going to do some wildlife photography. So if any of our listeners are into their photography, give me a shout.
Why don't you ask Ross Deacon to take you herping so you can take some photos and not find anything?
Waste of time. Don't see anything. I'll tell you what, I've been getting some deer lately. Local to us, not far from just outside of Cannock Chase. The red deer, it's rutting season. And it's quite mad. I've met a couple of guys on the chase and they started talking to them, and then you go, oh, bloody hell, yeah, I've seen you on Instagram or in the photography groups on Facebook. It's nice to get to know people and have a chat to them face to face.
Well, there wasn't a weird happen. So I was strutting around in my yellow swim shorts and my Summer Vibes vest top on a holiday, and I had a random bloke stop me, and he was just like, "Reptile and Chill, what's that?" And I was like, "Oh, I do a podcast," and explain briefly. I didn't want to bore him with details, and he was like, "Oh, my lad wants to get a snake as a pet," and we went into a shop in, I think it was Stoke. So it was the unconventional menagerie.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, this, that, and the other. And he said the problem is, there's so much to choose from, and I go online and there's lots of contradictory information. And I'm really struggling to get to grips with what I need to do. I said, right, okay. So I advised him to add me on Facebook and get yourself on.
But you snatched his phone off him, type Reptile and Chill ad.
He's joined our community group, so hopefully he does listen to this. And I think it's a really important message to put across as well. So there are many, many ways to skin a cat. And even the most experienced people sometimes do things wrong, or could not do things wrong, but possibly could do things better. So I think the best thing to do is find out what animal you want to keep. So you keep asking me what's the best species. The best species is the one that you can keep the best. That's what it comes down to, what you're going to enjoy keeping and what you can keep to the best of your ability. So to go for something, that you want to look after within reason, don't buy a saltwater crocodile. It's not going to end well. But then when you go to look at your enclosure and how you're going to do it, ask loads of different people. So go into that reptile shop that you mentioned. Why don't you travel around, go into a different one, ask people on the Facebook groups, if you've got any friends that keep, and get a broad spectrum of advice, and then go, right, okay, what makes sense to me?
Yeah.
And then do your own research and do it for yourself. And you will make mistakes. You will have to learn. You will have to change things. But that's how we all progress as keepers. I certainly make mistakes all the time. I had a brilliant idea that I was going to use all my vivs, and I was going to use little GU10 20-watt bulbs, and I was going to have 4 or 5 of them on one thermostat. And that's how I was going to do it. Now, the problem is, it works, but it's not going to give the basking temperature I want 2.5 foot away.
Yeah.
It's going to give the basking temperature that I want, 8-9 inches away. That's fine. But I thought, okay, we'll jump together. That's, I don't know, that's 100 watts. It will penetrate all the way down. And I just didn't think.
Yeah.
And then I did it, didn't realise, and was like, sod that 100-watt bulb, it's going to go further. And until you physically try something, you're not going to understand. What's in your head might not actually work when it's done, when it's been practical. And I think, that what Danny just put, that you and him spoke last week, the most important question is, how much time do you have? The answer is not a huge amount. Herbivores probably, in most cases, they're not for you.
Yeah.
To
He's
be
right, though.
I,
The species, and we went through them, the species that are a lot easier to keep. And, well, when I say easier to keep, less time consuming. If you haven't got the time, if you're out all day and you've only got, I don't know, a spare 10 minutes or something like that, something that you can just change the water bowl, feed them every couple of weeks, more like a certain species of snake.
Yeah, when I kept them up, Turner. Oh, yawning. Oh, Mikey boring, man.
Hussey's back. He's yawning again. Do you know what, as well, mate? You start yawning. The more you talk, you put yourself to sleep. I've been really quiet.
It's lack of oxygen. So I used to keep them up, Turner, which are a species of tree frog, and if you have to spray them, you keep them fairly dry, but you still need to spray them, for the plants and this, that, and the other. You have to feed them every day or every other day. And that's a lot more hassle than a snake.
Yeah.
So I had the one lot. So if I had a room full of tree frogs, that's a lot of time. It's a heck of a lot of time. Even with the snakes that you keep, you've got a plateau, you're in it, for fuck's sake.
Danny, come back.
Come on. So if you've got loads of placid animals that aren't, that don't really react when you enter their vivarium, then changing water bulbs, changing bulbs, spot cleaning, that's going to be easier because you've not got to dodge the animal. Yet if you're keeping animals that are more highly strung and defensive and don't want you in their cage, then you've got to, potentially dance around them or remove them from the enclosure, which is going to take up more time. And myself, I used to have a really big collection of boas. And it got to the point where it was too much. I was working, 50 odd hours a week. I was in a relationship. I wanted to spend time with my friends, my family. And even though I wanted to keep all these animals, in the reality of it, I just did not have the time to do it.
Yeah.
And it became a burden. And I had to slim down. Unfortunately, it was only the boas that I slimmed down and not my stomach. But we'll get there in the end. See what I keep doing? I keep looking at the camera. My teeth are so white. Look.
How are they so white, Huss?
Nothing.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Danny could get his own back on you quite easily, quite quickly.
He could.
Couldn't he?
See if he's brave enough. Sam's in here.
How you doing, Kyle? Miss you too, mate.
Yeah, so I broke my tooth when I was 15, 16.
Yeah.
And I had to have a crown put on it. And over the years, your teeth change colour and stuff, and it started to look a bit discoloured. So I had that changed. And whilst I was there, it was £100 for whitening. Now, I didn't want to go Simon Cowell and be like, bing. But so I just had the one light. So I had that, and then I had the crown done. And it was, yeah. And Matt Lowe, just to go back to a normal subject, but Matt Lowe just said had similar. When it became mature, it was the time, that it was enough for himself.
Right. And do you know what? That's a really good thing, that is, right, that Matt's just said that, because a lot of people don't want to admit to themselves that they haven't got enough time. And what will happen is the animals will start to suffer because you don't want to admit to yourself, you keep them. The animals start suffering more, the standards go downhill. It becomes a challenge. And when you're not enjoying something, then, and I know Matt's done this in the past. He's literally just sold everything, got rid of everything, and I think not having animals in your life for a little while, it's a great break. And then you start to realize how much you miss them and you start to get that feeling back again, and I know he's sort of like building up his collection now, and he's getting some nice stuff.
I'm going through the same thing as well. I had a fairly decent collection, and I had to get rid of it. It wasn't because it was a chore, but I had to. There's a lot of other things going on in my head and this, that, and the other, and that break has helped me. The problem now is that I'm itching to get back into it.
Yeah, and you've got to be careful when you feel like that, mate, because you can go out and you can impulse buy then, can't you? So and we've said constantly, you know, it's not the right thing to do.
I've even like slapped myself, you know, mentally, because I thought, right, okay, I'm going to build a rub rack. I'm going to buy animals and I'm going to grow them up, and I'll keep them in grow out racks, and then when they get to a substantial size, I'll move them to vivariums. And I don't do that. That's not what I do. I don't like that style of keep. It's not for me. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that, but that's not the way I do things.
Yes.
But because I'm itching to get back into it, I thought, well, I'll just do this temporary, and then I'll move them on. And no, I shouldn't be doing that, because the way I keep reptiles and the way I'm happy with how I keep them is in larger naturalistic setups.
Yeah.
So so I need to be doing those larger naturalistic setups or nothing.
Yeah.
Because I'm only going to look at it and I'm not going to enjoy it, and I know that. But I'm still itching to do it because I miss it.
Matt's just said there, obviously Kate reins him in. Whether I believe that or not, I don't know. But for me, you see, Sam's not. She likes them and she appreciates them, but she's not into reptiles. But we know people in the hobby and their misses are into it as well. Do you know what I mean? We've had numerous guests on, Ambrose and Molly. That they're really into their reptiles. But for me, I think if Sam was really into it as well, I mean, your collection could just go way out of hand, couldn't it? You got to be quite.
I don't think I could be in a relationship with another reptile keeper, because I'm pretty headstrong. You know what I mean? So, like, imagine me and you had a project room together.
Yeah,
we I think we keep differently. Yeah, you like ceramic eaters, I like halogen bulbs. How many times I've tried to ram that down your throat that it's better, and you tell me to fuck off?
No, I don't. I don't. No, I don't at all. I'm absolutely not like that. Honestly, Hoss, I'm not. No, but it's just that
you've got your way of doing it. I've got mine, and that's that. The way you set up your enclosures, they're cool. They look nice, but it's not how I would do it. But your animals are healthy.
Well, there's one. Sorry, Hoss. Just whilst you're through that, I want to interject as well. There's one thing that Rob Pilley said in the podcast the other week, and it's really struck a chord with me. He said about putting a plant in your viv, and if you can't keep the plant alive, then you shouldn't be keeping the animals.
Yeah.
I'm now the room's set up. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some live plants. How I do it with the snakes I've got, I don't know. Whether I keep them in the pots and secure them in there and then water and feed them that way, possibly. But yeah, that's one thing that I do. And I'm all about progression and learning. Just because I've done this for years doesn't mean that that's the right way. We've got to move with the times. There's new equipment coming out all the time. So,
see, but being in a relationship with someone, say for instance, like they were very headstrong and they wanted to do something a certain way, and I wanted to do something another, or say for instance, they wanted to keep said species, but we're doing everything together.
Yeah.
I'd be like, no, I'm not interested in that. I'm not keeping animals that. Like, for instance, there's a species that Danny's getting. I'm not going to say it again because I want to get punched in the balls. And they're stunning. They're absolutely stunning. They're beautiful animals.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't keep them. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even if you gave them me. Like, don't get me wrong. If they needed a home because they were going to go to the glue factory, then I'd keep them.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't, out of choice, keep them. They're not my cup of tea. But I appreciate them.
You just wouldn't let anybody have a say in what you was keeping. That's why you would. They wouldn't have an opinion.
Plus, so the next relationship I get myself into, and I buy a house with them, or we're moving and whatnot, we are having a crocodile. Right? And if they don't like the idea of that, or they try and stop me from that, they're going to become crocodile food. So.
You give it the big one now, mate. I tell you what, you turn into a right pussy.
I'm going to end up with a 5-belly toad, aren't I?
Yeah. I mean, just it's easy to get distracted by shiny objects, but having a vision or an end goal can really help maintain that focus. Yeah, look at Garrett Hartle. He used to keep other species, but he really just focused on one thing. Yeah, and I mean, there's different ways to look at it, isn't it? Some people might have to go through a whole series of different species before they find what they want. Other people will know straight away and just go, do you know what? Sod going for this. This is what I want, and I'm doing all my research, and I'm going to go that way. There isn't a right or a wrong way to do it.
I started off with Brazilians, then I had corn snakes, which is backwards, but whatever. Then we had a carpet python. Then we went on mad into boas. I've had Baron's racers and other bits of colubrids and whatnot as well, and they're all nice. They're nice animals, but the one that stuck out was the carpet, and it was an Irienjoy or PNG carpet.
Yeah.
So then I started to look at what other animals are in that area, and then I ended looking at scrubs and white lips and Bismarcks and those kind of animals and chondros, and that's what I like. And I found, but the problem is now I felt like I've kept all that, and I want to try something new. And the problem with those animals as well, because I like the naturalistic setups and it looking, nice and pretty, because I'm a hipster reptile keeper.
In your dreams.
Like, it's difficult to do it. And with this little hognose that I've got now, I've really enjoyed it. He's looking at me dead in the eye at the moment. It's great.
Honestly.
Yeah, take a picture.
Take your camera. Can't you tilt your camera around?
No, because it's on my laptop.
See. I want a wireless portable, so we could sort of like go around the reptile room. No, can't see it.
I'll send it. Yeah, so it's mad, and it's like, so now I'm like thinking towards like, smaller colubrids and that kind of stuff, or pygmy pythons where they're not going to fuck the enclosure up.
Yeah. A couple of things whilst you've been rabbiting on, and I just want to refer back to them. Matt and Ambrose both talked about their missuses sort of like being into different. They're not interested in what I'm keeping, and they're into this, and we're into that. I think, and pretty much everybody that we've spoke to, the people that do well are the ones that do that. Their partners are into certain species and they're into something different, and they have sort of like, they'll look after and feed and do this bits and bobs with their others, but they just concentrate on their little collection, or their little collection, in Ambrose's case a big collection, and Molly will concentrate on hers, and I found that's most couples that are really successful, that's what they do, don't they? If you found that, Hobbs.
That you've just said all that all I'm hearing is massive electric bill.
Yeah, his and hers. Yeah, absolutely.
See, I've been through the more animals than I can chew, and I don't want to keep more than probably 5
Keep talking. Hang on.
And that's so he's left me. He's gone. He's gone for a poo. He's gone for a dirty poo. What I say, I've been through the stage where I've had all those animals, and it's too much. So what I want to do now is I want to keep less, but just doing more for the animals. So hers are more expensive. I suppose they are. Where did you go then?
I just went because Matt Lowe put something up about sort of like, people call me crazy for getting my 6-year-old a carpet python. He wanted a scrub, so I chose something smaller, kept his interest, which works out well. And, we've said this time and time again. I mean, look at this. I love this carpet. This is one that I produced last year. It's a cross diamond bredel. But I just love the markings. I love the colour. But I bred these specifically because the parents were so docile, expecting to get some docile babies, which I have. So I know people go, they've been like this. Hush, you'll vouch for this. They've been like this out the egg, haven't they, mate? There was one, number 7, that was really, really pretty. She's tamed right down now. So, and I get pictures. She's stunning, but I mean, she was a jag. Obviously, this is non-jag, but I really, really like this baby. It's absolutely. I just think it's beautiful.
I can show you a plant. That's all I've got to show you.
And I'd be fine with a young kid. We went to the meet and greet with Simon and Susie, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we took this one along, and then we took sort of like some of my others with us, going up in size. And yeah, they were absolutely fine. People was having a look at them. Some people was frightened of snakes, and yeah, this little one was the star of the show.
I tell you what, I really want to do with this live stream, and I think I've mentioned this to you before, but I think we should use this as a platform for listeners and people to showcase their animals as well.
Absolutely, if they want to come on and show what they've got, then by all means, it'd be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so if you haven't got to come on for the whole show, you can come on for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour. But if you want to show your animals, and just like sit there and have a chat with us and show you what show us what you keep. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. And again, going back to remember we was around your house and that young lad was picking up that carpet python from you, and he listens to the show. I can't remember your name. I'm really sorry.
Who was it? Sorry. Who? Yes.
He
was picking up one. Yeah, 100%.
So I asked him, "What do you keep?" And he went, just royal pythons. And I was looked at it, I thought, we brought this up before. So what do you mean, just royal pythons? Yeah, but they're just royals. No, they're royal pythons. They're awesome. So just because I don't keep them doesn't mean that I don't like them. But I appreciate yours. So whatever you keep, if you want to come on, apart from Matlow's not allowed to come on. If you want to come on and you want to showcase some of your animals, then just get in touch with us. Drop either myself, Mike, or Dan a message, and we'll see what we can do. Lucky bless him. I still can't get over the price of that desk.
Well, I know.
I like to flit in between conversations, but jammy.
It's not. It's just looking. Just went on Marketplace, Facebook, and got a enormous desk, which is sort of like your L-shaped desk, a proper metal office pedestal. I think these are 300 quid to buy new. Just the pedestal alone. The desk's around about 400 quid, and I got a proper office chair all for 40 quid.
So Matt, you're at home, you're half naked, and you're willing to come on like that. That is why you're not allowed on. Surely,
Matt the babe, he can come on anytime, half naked.
and I think Kyle Phillips has just summed it up. Share that passion. That's why we do this. So if anyone wants to come on and showcase what they do, showcase what they're passionate about, reptile related passion, I need to point that out.
Yeah, absolutely. Hoss, I've got my carpet python out. It's now time for you to get your. No, I'm joking. No, because you're too frightened of it. Look at it go. Is it? Do you know what? Compliments of Dave Clemens. That wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's Naya's little desk pet. It's calmed down a bit now, mate.
I just grabbed it. It's stunned.
It's like, what the hell's happening here? But that's the best way sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got to be, and I say this, and I use my kids for example. Billy is all mouth and no trousers, so he's very when he goes to pick him up. When my daughter, she's very calm but very confident, so she will literally just go straight in. And then she'll just go, nice and calmly, nice and confident, and straight in the tank and get them out. And the reaction is totally different from the snakes.
Definitely. Right, guys. So Matt Lowe wants us to shout this out. So Rhino Conservation Talk at Manchester Museum tomorrow. I've not been there yet.
It's Thursday.
Yeah, apparently so. I'm guessing, Matt, you're going to post some stuff up on your wall on Facebook so people can check it out, or any information, or if you want to send it across to us, and we'll whack it up as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Carl, I totally agree. Hog noses freak me the fuck out, and it's a weird one because like they're mildly venomous, or medically insignificant. Yet I've seen the damage they can do sometimes.
Yeah, if you
I've never been bitten by them. I don't really want to risk it. It's
yeah.
I mean, it's a bit mad. Oh, guess who's just turned up?
Ryan.
Late to the show, man.
Late to the show, absolutely.
Right, and have you got anything else to add before we wrap this up, dude?
I think. Have I? I usually have. I'm stuck for words. That's the first time ever.
It's because you've not got your bum boy with you today. That's what it is. you two, honest to God, right? It's like being a permanent third wheel. Like Mike and Danny, they're dirty whores.
We just get each other. We praise each other. You are the world's worst for giving your mates a bit of praise. Where me and Danny go, do you know what? That was really good, or that was really nice. Well done, mate. And you're like, that was shit. That was shit. I've been wanting to do this for 20 years. I'm really happy, and yeah, it was shit.
I don't like that. Fuck you.
I must say, you do seem refreshed and a little bit happier since you've come back from holiday. If you start getting grumpy again, we're going to send you away again.
Can I choose?
No, no.
That has nothing to do with it. Has nothing to do with it. Like, go away. Right. So, thank you for listening and tuning in. It's been wicked hanging out. Been loads of really cool comments that have come. Obviously, normally we do this on a Thursday. So for all those that have tuned in, thanks for coming in a day early.
We changed it for Danny.
And who couldn't fucking come out.
We changed it for Danny, and then he had a hissy fit because his mic wouldn't work.
Absolute
and then
asshole. That's
he shut down with 2 seconds to go.
I need to do something. Really? Wankor. That's a really yes, if you do want to help support the podcast and look after some of our merchandise, t-shirt is for sale. Head on over to reptileandchill.com.
You like that, don't you?
Help Danny get a new laptop because I can't deal with him. And if you do want to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or Twitter, it's at the handle at Reptile and Chill. I will say,
or if anybody's got a spare a laptop that does work that they don't use anymore because they've got a new one, bring it to Doncaster and smash it over his face.
I don't know. No, I'm done. Right,
Roberta, thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure. First time listener, so thank you very much.
Roberta, if you're not on our community group, then please head on over. It's on Facebook. Type in Reptile and Chill community group. Click join and we'll accept you in, and let us know who you are, what you do. And that goes to anyone else as well who's listening right now. If you're not,
and if you're single, expect to get stalked by Hoss.
Yeah, and on that note, that's it for this week, guys. The podcast isn't here this week because obviously lacking in recording equipment. So it will be the following Monday until we're back. But the live stream will be back Thursday at 7 p.m. So until then, love you, bye.
Love you, bye. Love you, Danny. Oh no, wrong way.